All right, so let's start sanding this thing down. See what happens. There's a lot of work to do. I might have to sand, I might have to stop and then spot prime a couple things. So usually the final sand can, back when I was younger, sometimes I just sand down and paint it. I don't know if I'm going to do that much on this one because I'm just like, I kind of get it, see if I can find a few things. But that final sanding, I mean, unless you're doing just like a quick blow and go job, takes a while to do. So, I have to check the body work and all that. So, anyway, we'll get busy on it. Talk to you another portion.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so this is the funnest part of, I hate sanding. It's just got allergies and it just drives me nuts. Then I got to go through and just see this little stuff like that. Just gonna give it a little spot prime, and then after I get done doing everything, I saw a little ding right here. Fix that one. That's a factory spot weld ding. After I get all done with it all by machine sand, and you got to go back and hand sand everything. So what I'll do is I'll go through and just spot prime all the raw areas, and then I'll go through and hand sand everything. And the hand sanding, I'll get all the corners, edges, and just run over the whole thing again, just to kind of make sure that the DA didn't leave any marks in it. So it's a lot of work. That final bit is always just, it can take a lot more time than what you think. And this is just the final bit. Just think, people don't realize that when you got to paint a car, when you go to paint a car, there's just like way more work than just painting a building or house or something. So anyway, that's just the way it is. Alright, let's paint some S-word. Now, you guys know who that is, right? That's our buddy the gunman down south, down under. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and spray this stuff, and we'll take a look at it. Of course, he's actually the best spray painter on YouTube, because he does it all day long, and he's good at it. He does it every day, so I don't. But anyway, we'll paint this up. Take a look at it. Let's take a look at the mirror finish of Tamco clear coat. Stuff is really nice. I'm telling you, I've sprayed a lot of different clears, and this one here is pretty much as good as any. Had a bug commit suicide right there, so I gotta sand that out and buff it. But even with the little tiny bit of dust that's in it and the way it sits right now, it looks pretty damn smooth and nice. Got it pretty straight. There's not much waves. I felt a little bit of something, but that kind of gives you an idea pretty much about how straight the rest of it is. It's almost about like that, everything. So there's some flaws in it, but a few here and there on these. Got these all ready. We're going to get these assembled up next. That was a heavy marking, actually, the base. I tried to sand it out, but not worried about it on that little stuff. Little things like that I don't sweat. This one here looks a little bit nicer. Wasn't in such bad shape like the other one was. We'll get the rubber on there and everything. You can always sand and buff. You can always touch up. Anytime like this, if I wanted to touch it up, just sand it out. Either rough it, buff it, or I could just sand it out, get myself set up a little bit of miniature spot, because I'm going to have a few of them that I'm going to do when I'm all done. I'll just sit there and sand that little guy out and then get rid of it, and then spray a little bit of base, a little bit of clear, and blend it. Oh no, you can't blend clear coat, it doesn't last. Watch me. No, I know guys who do it all the time and it lasts. That's not true. It's because they're not using the right product. This clear coat will actually adhere to even bare metal, where other clears, this has a super adhesion. So I've never even heard of delamination with Tamco. So anyway, talk to you in the next portion. Guys, let's take a look over here. Outside the shop, Chris has been cleaning up the glass here. We got our window rubber pieces. I'll show you guys some of that stuff in a minute. He's been cleaning up them to make sure the latches work and all that stuff, and oiling them and then polishing them up a little bit. We'll be able to get all those working again. We still need to get these things here. Little rubber stoppers. We got one set of these. We painted them white instead of the gray, but we have one set of some nice German, nice looking ones. So we had one set left. We just pieced them together. Couple pieces down there. Actually, these are actually German ones, and the funny thing is they're not bus, but they're bug ones, because they don't have the drain hole. But the difference between the bug and the bus ones is they'll have a little drain hole in the bottom right here. Big deal. They work just fine without that. But they're actually period correct for this because they have the correct hardware in this type of situation. If you see here, it has the little keeper there, and that's what keeps this thing from going open and close. The later models had that stuff, so 67, that probably would have been about the right one for it. Yeah, I got to get up there and spot prime that. Or I already spot primed it. I'm going to do the hand sand up on the top. I got to run around and do all my hand sanding. I don't know if I'll get all that on video. I'm not sure. This is what this looks like on the car. Looks pretty freaking straight, effing straight. There's this super fine orange peel in it. Very little. I mean, you're not going to get it any smoother than that. I mean, from here to perfectly smooth, color sanded buff will go down real easy. This clear goes on super nice. I did have a couple chips here on that one. We'll just fix those after. All I'll do is just mask off a little area and I'll sand this down and feather it out and then just do a spot paint and blend. Oh no, you shouldn't do that. That's no good. It doesn't work. Alright, you keep thinking that. So we got these things here cleaned up, painted. Had to re-weld the little guys in here. And the seam sealed them in place. Them all up. Same thing here. Little tab to keep it in place. Is back. We got this thing here polished up a little bit. The Volkswagen. Yeah, look at that. Looks like brand new. These are original too, so it's not the cheaper. Sometimes the aftermarket parts are not as good, guys. So what do we do here? We got these. These are original. And what we did is, if you can see, there's the part number on them. What we did is paint them again and then polished the plastic, leave the cracks in it, you know, because the new ones are pretty darn expensive. So anyway, got those. Now check this out. This is the cool stuff. Down here, took these. Let's look here. Stuck. Let me get it out. So took the original lenses and then took the the metal polishing kit and polished them up really nice. They look like brand new, but they have the stamps and are all original. Better quality than the reproduction ones, so that's always a good thing. Alright, so got all these parts all oiled and cleaned up. The handles, you know, they got pits in them and stuff, but we did clean them up. Wow, I was surprised how well those turned out. These were really bad, so I was looking at them and going, oh man. So some of these door handles, we actually have the key. Look at that, even polished the key. Wow, that's, these are pretty bad, but I think if you put this one on the driver's side, right, then you'll see this side, the top of it, and I think it'll go on either one. And the key works on both handles. And then this one would go on the passenger side, so that side would look like that. Not too bad. Not bad. And then this piece here, did a little foil tape repair to it because it was falling apart. He made a piece out of metal and then took some foil tape and put it on there. It's really mostly cosmetic and made it so it's reflectable. Works fine. That's how that was kind of fixed. That thing was just rusted off. There was a piece of it rusted completely off. Put in the sandblaster, cleaned it up. Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't need to be replaced really if it's gonna. We polished all the door handles, the original ones. The aftermarket flippers, you might get them. They might not be quite as good as the originals. Polish these up, and the rings, all that, the glass lenses, and these things here. Polish those up. So, pretty cool. Once we're done painting, ready to start putting together. Color sand and buff it. Then it'll look amazing. After this is color sand and buffed, guys. I mean, this thing's gonna look. If you imagine, there's some waves in this thing. You can see them. Very small areas. But once this is all color sanded and buffed, and you see the doors look just like this, about the same condition. You see how this turned out. About the rest of the body looks pretty. I mean, there's a few more waves in it, and some of this door here's got a little issues. there's a little waving down the bottom part. I don't know how much of it's going to show up, and honestly, to me it doesn't matter. It should look so nice that it's not going to matter at all when it's all together. So that's just my opinion. And the nose needs to be sanded. Still need to hand sand all this. So I'm going to shut this door because it is over 100 out. We've had like a 2-week, a couple days. Last week it was like near 100, and then it was in the high 90s, and then today it was like I think it probably hit 100 or somewhere near there. And the sun's really penetrating right now, so we're going to try to get up early and paint this thing tomorrow. I don't know how much of it I'm going to get a video because I got to set up the camera and I got to concentrate on doing the painting. Well, at least get something, so don't expect too much. But when I get to the outside, because we have to get up early and do it early in the morning before the wind comes up and stuff like that, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have for all that stuff. And instead of a camera up and showing whatever, I don't know how much of it I'm going to get done. So anyway, it's not like when you're in a spray booth, it's a lot easier to set that stuff up. The stuff's already set up. You just pull it in and do it. But we have to set up that portable booth, so it's going to take a little bit of time. And I don't know how it's going to work out. But I wanted to do some spray stuff, but I just don't know how it's going to work out. We'll just see. We will just see. So, all right, I'll have you guys come back for that. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. I'll send this one here, and then I'll get on this hand sanding on the roof. Get busy on that on the next one probably, and then I actually got to do the sides too. I think I'm going to sand everything, and then I'll just get it ready. I got to mask that all off, and I'm going to paint the roof first, and then I'll paint the sides, because when I'm doing the roof, I'm going to be leaning on the sides. So that's why I like to paint the roof separate, because when I move a ladder around and stuff like that, it's just too frustrating. You're going to bump it. You're going to do something trying to lean out to do the middle of that roof. It's even with long arms like me. I'm 6'3", so I have really long arms. Even with me, it's really hard for me to reach across that roof on these. And a shorter person, I mean, it's just better just to mask right here, mask right around here, and just paint the roof first, and go back and do the sides, and save yourself a lot of grief. All right, talk to you in the next one.